Last week we talked about the importance of owning the damage that our destructive behaviours might do to others. Today I want to talk about what John discovered when he went back to his family and said to his family, "I'm sorry for the way I've treated you," and had most of his family be able to say, "Of course, we forgive you." What happened there was that he was putting himself out there and saying, whoever was responsible for the pain in my life, because I have not dealt with that pain, I now accept responsibility for hurting you, and I need your forgiveness. After John told me what he had done, he looked at me and said, "Graeme, where do you get all this stuff from?" And I smiled at him and said, "From the Bible," remembering that he had told me that I wasn't to give him any religious stuff. And he said, well, I won't tell you what he said, but they were strong words. And then he laughed. And then he said, "You know that it's changed my life." I should just tell you that John went on in the years to come to be a Baptist deacon in his church in the city in which he lived. He came to know the Lord through the experience of asking his family for forgiveness. How do we go about asking for forgiveness? Well, first of all, we've got to experience how deeply we need forgiveness. That is really important, because if we don't understand our need for forgiveness, we are never going to be in a position to forgive others. Jesus said, "Forgive others as I have forgiven you." You get it, you see? You've got to get that we can only really forgive others as we've experienced forgiveness from God. It's so important. A lot of people say there's no relevance in Christianity today. I want to tell you, as a counsellor, there is no other model of forgiveness that works for people like this, that sets them free. So John discovered that. John, from his atheistic background, agnostic approach to God, he really understood this principle because he practiced it. Sometimes it's not possible to get forgiveness from the people we've hurt. One reason for that may be that they don't want to forgive you. The other reason is that maybe the people we've hurt are dead already, or they are no longer in our lives, and there is no possibility for us to go and seek their forgiveness. And here again, it's important to remember that it is God also who is able to forgive us. You know, the whole Easter story is just simply about God making a way by which he can forgive us for the things that we have done against him or against others. Do you know what forgiveness means? Forgiveness is a word that means, in the Greek from which it comes, it means to set another free from the obligation to suffer for what they've done to me. To set them free from the obligation to suffer for what they've done to me. That's how I understand what Jesus did for me on the cross. That he set me free from the obligation to suffer for what I'd done to him. So when I'm talking about being forgiven or forgiving someone else, it's this definition that becomes really important. The thing to remember, and particularly as we come to what I'm going to share next week, the thing to remember is that that forgiveness is not based on us deserving it. It's based on what Christ has done. That's why there is no other model that works. You see, I know what it's like to have a person in my life that I would call my abuser. And I know that there is no way in the world where that person will ever deserve forgiveness. There is no way I can rationalize what they did. There is no way that I can make what they did even look better than it was. There is no way I can ever forgive them because they deserve to be. The only possible way that I could forgive them is because Jesus has already paid the price for what they've done. And I can look at my life and say, for all these years, I have been demanding that that person pay for what they've done. And Jesus has paid it already. And on that basis, I can set them free. You may have someone in your life that doesn't deserve to be forgiven either. Or there may be someone who thinks you don't deserve to be forgiven. But forgiveness can be offered and received on the basis of Christ having paid for it already. God bless.